This is my intro.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy Sebastrigol back again with another video. It's been a few weeks, but we are finally back. And these past few weeks, the transfer window was still ongoing. There's been international football. Yay, international football! Even though a lot of us don't like it. But anyways, now that the transfer window is officially closed, no signings from any other club, only free agents, and international football has completed also. A few days ago, it's been finished. Leagues are back today. Premier League's back tomorrow. It's time for my first Premier League prediction on video, you know? This is going to be my 2024-2025 Premier League season prediction. I'm going to go over the table. I'm going to say my top four, who I think will become champion, who's getting relegated, who's going to be mid-table, Europa League, Conference League, all that good stuff. And I mean, yeah, nothing more to say. By the way, as you can tell, I'm a gooner. So I'm going to do my best to be non-biased. I mean, I'm already non-biased. So yeah, we're going to start from the bottom to the top. Let's get right into it, ladies and gentlemen. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we have the tier list over here. We got Champions, Champions League, Europa League, Conference League, mid-table, low table, and relegation zone. We got all the teams here. So I'm going to start with relegation teams first and then move my way up, you know, from 20 to first. And who will be my teams that I think get relegated? Alright, first team to get relegated is United. Manchester United is really terrible. Bad coach, bad players. Everything's bad for them. Getting relegated. I wish. I know. But for real, my first team, the team I think is going to get last place this season will be Ipswich. I'm saying Ipswich Town gets relegated. And one of the new teams to go up this from last season. Newly promoted side, but I do think they are a bit too weak to be able to compete with everyone else. Yeah, I don't see them doing better, to be honest. I don't see how they stay up, personally. I also think they lacked experience in the Prem. Sorry, Ipswich Town fans, but I do think y'all are going to relegate. Oh, now 19th place, I think will be Nottingham Forest. I have Nottingham Forest getting 19th place. This is a team that ever since the last season barely survived, and you can tell already see the signs that they're not going to get that far or stay up. I don't know, man. Nottingham Forest doesn't convince me, to be honest. It's a side that I think is slowly going downhill, and I know they've done a few new signings, but, however, I don't think it'll be enough to stay up top. A good signing they made was Ward-Prowse, but I don't think he'll be enough for them to stay up. Yep, I have them there in 19th place. Now, in 18th place, I have the mighty Bournemouth. Yeah, Joe. I have Southampton also getting relegated. Another newly promoted side. A side that does have experience in the Premier League. We all do know that. However, I forgot to say, they also signed Ramsdale, one of the best keepers in the league. Definitely too bad Ryan came, you know. But I don't think Ramsdale and a few others will be enough to keep them up afloat in the Premier League. I think there's just too much competition. Looking at the few games that have already gone by this season, they couldn't beat Nottingham Forest, which I think is a very struggling side. And if they can't beat a team like Nottingham Forest, they're definitely not going to be able to beat the rest. I got them relegating. So 3 teams that I think will be relegated this season are Ipswich Town, Nottingham Forest, and we got Southampton. Sorry guys, but I don't think y'all have enough to stay in the first division. Alright, now it's time to move on to mid-table. Now, the low table I think is very interesting, fascinating, who's going to get there. These are the teams that could relegate if they had an extra few games bad. Or, you know, they have the potential to get relegated, but just won't. They will barely survive relegation. I think, and I don't think this is a surprising pick, but I have Everton barely surviving relegation zone. They were fighting it last season. This season, they have had a bad start. However, they are a big club, and I do think they will catch form and just barely get enough points to just stay up top. They're also, I mean, I've always liked them. I just can't fathom seeing them get relegated. I don't think that's realistic. I know that might be a hot take. A lot of people probably think they're getting relegated, but I just don't see it. They have a good amount of good players, and I think they're just gonna be good enough to withstand, relegation. We've seen how good they can play against Bournemouth when they lost 3-2. Before that, they should have won like 4-5-0, but they just couldn't finish their chances. And if they have an informed Calvert-Lewin, I just don't see them going down. And I'm pretty sure they'll be able to beat Southampton, Nottingham, Forest, and Ipswich. I think they're just too good to relegate. But who knows? But I have them low table. Next, we have Wolves. So Everton 17th place, Wolves 16th place. Now Wolves is interesting because they do have a few good players, but they do look a bit weak this start of the season. They have gone against the best teams though, so take that with a grain of salt. They have players like Cunha, who's really good. They've made some very interesting signings this transfer window, like the CDM Andre from Fluminense, who I think is a pretty good signing. Also, the young Brazilian winger Carlos Forbes from Ajax on loan. I think that's interesting. Also signing, who's very promising. And like I already said, they also have Cunha. They have some good Brazilian talent there, which I think will be enough to just keep them in the division. But I don't think they'll be good enough to get mid-table or challenge for anything. I think 17th place is pretty good for Wolves. I'm not gonna lie. Also, Maduka owns them. What? Now, hot take. I don't care. I got Leicester City. Leicester City, bro. I have Leicester City coming in 15th place, low table, not relegation zone. I'm just gonna say, Jamie Vardy's having a party. If Vardy can keep on performing like he did against Spurs and just keep scoring goals, there's no way they get relegated. They're a good team. They have experience in the Prem. I don't see him going down, bro. I'm going to be honest. Maybe calling nostalgic. I don't see him going down, especially if Vardy's there. You already know he's up to the levels still at 35, 36. They're not getting relegated, bro. What are we talking about? They're not going to get relegated. There's going to be times where Leicester cook this season. I definitely see them and Vardy scoring and beating teams like Southampton, the Wolves, Nottingham Forest, Ipswich, Everton. I see him getting 15th place, surviving relegation. I got Leicester, chilling. As long as Vardy cooks. If Vardy gets injured or they have a few injuries, then I think they're cooked. But as long as they're healthy and they have Vardy, 15th place is where I got them. Now we have Brentford. No. The fall of Brentford has had, ladies and gentlemen, is crazy. They just lost one of their best strikers, not their best one, from the last 2-3 seasons. Ivan Toney went to Saudi. It's a shame. But he also, he sold the gambling stuff. Definitely, I think, had an impact on his game. And but Brentford, I don't know. At least at the start of this season, they haven't been the best. Just like last season. Last season, they were a hard team to beat. But this season, they're getting beat by everyone. So I don't know. They look weak. They still have people like Wisa and Bueno. They're pretty good. But they do look weaker. I don't know. I have them placing 14th, a bit higher up than Leicester because I do think they have a better squad. But yeah, I don't think anything impressive from them this season. Then we got Fulham. I think we'll get 13th place. Now, Fulham is always I feel like they're always like this. Either they're just mid-team, like they're mid-table, or they're surviving relegation. I think they have some good players. They made some nice signings this summer. They got from Spurs. They signed Sessegnon from Spurs. From Arsenal, they took two very good youngsters that we have. They bought Emil Smith-Rowe. Really good player, young player. I think will cook for them. And they got on loan Reece Nelson, who is also certified baller. Two very good signings. Three. I think they'll get 13th. I think they'll be good enough. I think especially Smith-Rowe cooks, they'll definitely be far away from relegation. I think 13th is pretty good for them. Low table, maybe mid-table. I think it's pretty good. They also have one of the best left backs in the league, in my opinion. Jedi Anthony Robinson, the American's really good. Apparently United were interested in him. I hope he doesn't go United, but he's cooking. And yeah, they have a solid team. I think they'll get 13th place. That's not bad. So for 17th place, I have Everton. 16th place, I have Wolves. 15th place, I have Leicester City. 14th place, I have Brentford. And 13th place, I have Fulham. Now, let's get into the actual mid-table, the mid teams. Now, this is where it starts to get tricky in my opinion, but I have Bournemouth finishing in 12th. They just lost their best player, Solanke, their goal scorer for the last 2-3 seasons. While I do think that's a big fucking loss for them, nah shit. While I do think it's a big, very big fucking loss for Bournemouth, they have also made some good signings that I think will make up for it. Players like Araujo from Barca, not the Uruguayo best center back in the world, one of them, not him, but the right back Mexican-American guy. Araujo was pretty good. The right back, I think it's a good signing. Youngster also. They got the striker from Porto at Nelson. He's pretty good too. He's tough. And they also got Kepa, who, in my opinion, is a pretty good keeper. He just has a lot of bad PR. He was literally good at Madrid till that one game against Atletico, and then people thought, oh, he's bad again. Real Madrid fans coping, as usual. But I think it's a pretty good signing, especially if you can get informed, dude. I mean, because they lost Neto. He went to Arsenal, But I think Kepa's a pretty good keeper, and I think he's going to ball out. I do think Bournemouth have made some good signings, so I think 12th place is pretty good for them. Basically finishing in the same place as they did last season. I don't think that's bad. Now, for 11th place, I have West Ham. I have West Ham. They also have made some good signings. They have players like Kudos. Good players like that. However, I just don't see them competing, for European spots like they have or were a few seasons back when they were back in, Conference League. Now, trust me, I know they have made some good signings. People like Guillermo Rodriguez, a very good CDM, Argentinian, ex-Real Betis. He's good. They got Fulkrug, one of the best strikers from last season. Goleador, goal scorer for Dortmund. He's a good prop too. They got Todibo, ex-Barca from Nice, good signing youngster too, good center back. They got Wan-Bissaka from United. He's been doing pretty good for them too. I know. They also got Soler from PSG. They have a good amount of good players, but I don't think they will perform good enough to qualify for Conference League or Europa League. So I have them placing in 11th place, which I think is not bad. In 11th place, I have Newcastle United. I don't know. Newcastle's weird. They were really good like 2 seasons ago, but I feel like they've been falling out. They've been falling down. I don't know. Their fall has to be studied. I'm not gonna lie. From Champions League to being so mid, I don't know what's going on. They didn't really make many signings. Lewis Hall is interesting signing ex-Chelsea, but to be honest, other than that, it's just the main squad. I don't know how I feel about it. I don't know. I know they have one of the best scorers in the league, Isak, but he's also injury prone. Jolinton. I mean, they have a good team, but I think they're gonna. I don't know, man. I think they're not gonna do better than last season. They're gonna get 10th place this season. I just don't see it, especially with injuries. I don't know. I feel like they're falling off hard. I got Newcastle 10th place. In 9th place, I have Crystal Palace, ladies and gentlemen, which may be shocking to some of y'all, but they had a good transfer window. They signed players like Chalobah, Chelsea. How do you let him go, bro? They signed Eddie Nketiah, ex-Arsenal, who's a good backup striker, but I think he could really flourish. They also got Matt Turner, you say his best keeper. Have him as sub, I guess, but if he becomes the actual keeper and gets informed and is confident, he can ball out too. They got the center back Lacrosse from Wolfsburg. Is a good center back. Ismail Assar, we know him. He's fast as fuck. He's a good winger, good signing. Ex-Marseille. Dude, they also signed Kama, ex-Frankfurt. If you remember him from Frankfurt, he was really good. He's coming from Lazio. It's a good signing, good center back, good cam. Yeah, they made so many good signings. They also have Mateta, who we saw him cook at the U20 Olympics. I think they have a good team. They may have lost Olis, but still have Ezzy, who's pretty good. They also have the 2 Colombians. Daniel Munoz, who's one of the best right backs in the league, if not the best, after maybe Walker, Ben White. And they also have a great center mid in Lerma, who's really good. I think I have a good team. I think they'll get 9th place. Now, 8th place, I have Aston Villa. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, that does mean I think they're going to have a big dip from last season. They were really good, but now that they're in Champions League, I do think they're going to struggle competing in both Champions League and League. I think they're going to have a fall off, even though they have a really good team. It was really hard for Arsenal to beat them, but we got the win. They're a really good team, good squad, good side, good coach. This will be hard, especially if they get far in Champions League. I don't know how much they're going to put the focus on the league. We got to wait and see, but they do have one of the best keepers. The players like Pau Torres, Roger, Coleman Duran, Watkins. But I do think they're going to have a dip in form. They're going to be as good as they were last season, and I do think they're going to get 8th place. Which for some may be a surprise, but I don't think it's so much of a hot take. I think we've seen usually in the past recent seasons that when the team get Champions League or Europa League or Conference League, they fall off in the league. And yeah, I think they're going to fall off too and get 8th place. Yeah. So 12th place, I have Bournemouth, Sinisterra, Tyler Adams, good players, but 12th place, I think it's pretty good. 11th place, I have West Ham, good signings. 10th, I have Newcastle United. I think they're going to have a bad season. Crystal Palace 9th, I think they're going to cook this season, but obviously not just good enough to get into European spots. And 8th place, I have Crystal Palace. And 8th place, I have Aston Villa. I think they're going to have a fall off this season. And yeah, even though they have a good squad and good coach, they won't be able to compete and manage the Champions League and the league. So yeah, I have them 8th place. Now we're going to the teams that will fight for Conference League and all these European spots. So I do think Tottenham Hotspurs will get that Conference League spot this season. They've made a very great signing. Last season they lost Kane. They were kind of mid. But this season they saw that. They realized that Son was not as good striker. So what do? They went and signed one of the best strikers in the league in the past few seasons. And Solanke. They snatched him up from Bournemouth. Their best striker, goleador, best goal, their best player. They signed him up, and now he's at Spurs. And he's been playing with Madison, Son, all that. They have a good defense. I think Spurs. I mean, it's hard. It's hard for me to praise them, but I do think they're good enough for European spots. Just not Europa League, Champions League, and hell no, they're gonna be champion. I think all the teams above them have made more and better signings and just have better squads. They also have Cuti Romero, though. They have a solid team. I think Conference League is good enough for them. I'm not going to lie. They will win a lot of games, but against the big 4 or 5, I think they're going to struggle, especially away. And yeah, I just don't see them qualifying for Europa League. So for those reasons, I have Tottenham Hotspurs finishing in Conference League this season, placing in 7th place. And now, for Europa League, what I'm about to say is one of my biggest ever hot takes, and probably the biggest hot take of my Premier League predictions. But I have Brighton finishing in Europa League spots. I said it. That's right, I have Brighton qualifying for Europa League. And you're going to be like, bro, that they were so bad last season. But this season, they've had a good start, and I do think their team is better than it was last season. They made a great signing in Riley, ex-Celtic, a young, good midfielder I think is flourishing with them. Their coach, Fabian Hurzeller, has been playing good football. And with players like Danny Welbeck in form, they also have players like Stupinian, Mitoma, Enciso, who's really fucking good. And also João Pedro. I think they have an interesting young squad. And I do think they're going to qualify for Europa League, which is a hot take, but we'll see. We'll see how far they get, but that's my prediction. The other team I have on a European spot is Manchester United. I have Manchester United placing in 5th place. And we already know the signings. They bought, what's the guy's name? Euro, good young center back. They took him from Real Madrid, so that's already a W. They beat Real Madrid in something. Who would have thought? Holy shit! United beat Real Madrid and signing a youngster? Yo, Real Madrid locked the fuck in, man. But he's injured, so it's going to be a while since we see him play with the squad. They'll sign the legit or the light, whatever you want to call him. I like calling him legit, but whatever. From Bayern Munich, good center back. However, hasn't had the best of starts. Some people are comparing him to Maguire, the Dutch Maguire. but we know his qualities as another good signing. 2 good center backs. They also signed Mazraoui from Bayern Munich, a good right back. I think that's very solid for them, noting that they have Dalot, but I think Mazraoui can become better, especially with Luke Shaw's injury. Dalot's been playing left back, and he has to fill in, so Mazraoui having him on the right is really good. They also went out and signed one of the best strikers in the Serie A, and Xerxes from Bologna, a great part and reason why they qualified for the Champions League last season in the Serie A. He's a good striker, youngster. I'm sorry, he has best attributes. Tall, he has good pace, quality striker, has already scored. I think it's a good signing for them, and he's been feeling very well while Højlund is injured. Once Højlund comes back into the team, who knows how they'll do. But then, they also got Ugarte. It was a good signing. They were in talks of signing Ugarte and Richard Rios from Colombia, which I think would have made their midfield even better. But it is what it is. He's got Ugarte, and he's pretty good. We'll have to see how he plays with the team. Casemiro is finished. Casemiro I'm just saying the truth. Casemiro is nothing without refs and, the Real Madrid system. He's literally nothing. Here, you do the fouls, you're going to get yellow cards, red cards. It's not like in La Liga where you're defended and protected by the refs. But United made these good signings, but they also have players that have left. McTominay left, who had goals in him, even though he's a CDM. We know Casemiro is basically finished. Sancho left, who was a good option for them, even though he's been trashed for United. We saw him rejuvenated back at Dortmund. That would have been a good, player off the bench for United. Rashford has been bad ever since last season. This season, they're all hoping he becomes good again. Bruno is still there, but they're putting him as striker sometimes. He's not a striker. He's a number 10, bro. You need him making the plays, not trying to finish them. And then they had Diallo, who's pretty good, youngster though. And Garnacho was pretty good, but youngster though. So they have an interesting team. They also have one of the worst keepers, Onana. I think he had the record for the most goals conceded in the season of a goalie. Last season, 70-something or 80 goals. They still have him. I think they should have went out and signed the keeper. You know who someone that was free on the market that was world class? De Gea. Who signed him? Fiorentina. United, I don't know. They're stupid. And for that reason, and the reason that they're just trash, I think they're going to get 5th place, which, Europa League, it's at the level they're at, I guess, for now. But yeah, United 5th place, I think that's a safe bet. So yeah, Conference League, I have basically Spurs, and then European spots, Europa League, Brighton 6th place, I have United 5th place. Not bad. I don't think it's bad. Now let's get into the top 4 and the champion, where I think y'all know where I'm going to go with this. Let's get into it. Ladies and gentlemen, finishing in 4th place. I think a lot of people might think this is a bad take, but I think it's a good take. Chelsea. No, Man City. Yo, that's crazy. Not imagine. Oh, you know what? If City get charged, I heard apparently they might lose 100 points, then yeah, they get relegated. Or mid-table maybe? I don't know. I have Chelsea making it in 4th place, qualifying for Champions League after a good year or two without being in it. I think, let's get to the chase. They've spent a lot of money on the team. Billions of billions. Como dice, a certain guy says, Trump. They spent billions and billions and billions and billions of money. And, their squad is starting to show. They have players like Madueke, youngster, but he's good. Mudryk, youngster, kind of good, sometimes bad. And Kunku, Joao Felix from La Liga, who Barca wanted to keep, but they couldn't. Madrid would have kept them if they were cool with them. They also have Nkunku, who was injured last season, but who's really good. They bought Pedro Neto from Wolves, who was one of the best players, and is a very young and great winger. He's a good winger. He's really good. Who else do they have? They got Sancho, bro. He came back to Chelsea, and I feel like he's going to cook at Chelsea. And, oh my gosh, I almost forgot. They have Nicholas Jackson, one of the best strikers. He scored a good amount of goals last season. And also Cole Palmer, one of the best players in the league. He showed it at the Euros too, why he should be starting, scoring in the final. They have a good squad, bro. They have a good squad. The only bad thing is their defense. I feel like it's a bit weak. Yeah, basically, I think they'll be good enough to get 4th place. They have had a good start this season. We've seen what they can do. That 6-2 against Wolves kind of proves it, that they have the capabilities and the power and potential to just smash and outscore teams, which I think they'll be doing plenty of times. Just not against Arsenal or Man City, Liverpool, those teams. But I think they will compete with anyone, and that's why I have them placing in 4th place Champions League spot. 3rd place, we've got Liverpool. They've had a great start to the season. We know Klopp has left, and I think that's going to be a good reason why they don't get top 2, to be honest. I was going to say Salah's also aging, not at his best, but he has picked it up this season, cooking United, although some would say that's not impressive. But he is showing why he's one of the best players, one of the best paid. He's having a great season. They have players like McAllister, Van Dijk, Alisson. They have a good squad. Jota, Gakpo, Darwin Nunez. We had a great Copa America. Luis Diaz, who's in great form right now, just not for Colombia. One of the best wingers in the world. They have a good squad. They're playing good players. Their coach is pretty good too. But I don't think it'll be enough to get top 2. I think we'll probably get 3rd place. And we'll have actually a better season than I thought previously. But they won't be top 2. So for that reason, I have Liverpool qualifying, landing in 3rd place in the Premier League. So 4th place, Chelsea. 3rd place, Liverpool. Let's get on to the top 2. Who I think will place in 2nd place and who's going to be champion of the Premier League. I don't think this will be a surprise. But that's right, ladies and gentlemen. I think Arsenal is going to place in 2nd place. And Man City will get 1st place. It's been your boy, Sebastrigol. And you fucking wish. You wish. Oh, shit. No. Arsenal is going to be 1st, ladies and gentlemen. And City's going to be 2nd place. And a lot of y'all are going to think the opposite. But let me try to persuade you or just tell y'all why I think that. Now, 2nd place, City. Obviously, their team it's City. They signed Gundogan, Barca's best player last season. So he's already a prop there. They have Savio from Girona. What a signing. That first game against Chelsea, he was cooking Kukurea, who was the best left back at the Euros. That's crazy. They also have Erling Haaland, the best striker in the world. So obviously, plus De Bruyne, plus Bernardo Silva, Ruben Diaz, Ederson, the best coach in the world, Pep Guardiola. But they lost a good player. They lost Julian Alvarez, who he would come in and score goals, assists. And without him, we're going to see how City play without him, how they do without him. Because he sometimes would save their asses. But now that he's not there, we're going to have to see if Grealish can do that. And they also have Foden. They have a good team. But I think they're going to prioritize the Champions League a lot more. And they're going to go for that. They want to win it. They should have been Real Madrid last season, but they sold them penalties. I think they're going to go all for the Champions League. And I think that's going to cost them a bit in the league. I think they're going to drop a good amount of points. And I mean, yeah, they have a good squad, one of the best squads, probably the best squad depth. But I do think there won't be enough. I think this is the year. This is the year where we fucking win it. This is the year. This is the year Arsenal wins it. It's coming home. This is the season, the year I think Arsenal will win the Premier League. I think the team has gotten stronger this season from last season. And the one team that bitched us last season and was a big reason why we didn't win the Premier League, literally, Aston Villa, what happened? We beat them. We finally beat them. Last season, they beat us twice away and home. And that's literally the reason we didn't win the league. If we would have beaten them at least one of the games, we would have won the league. But guess what? We couldn't. This season, we already beat them away. Different mentality. I think our fixture list is pretty hard, but I do think the team is stronger. We signed Neto, good backup. We sold Ramsdale. That's a good trade, basically. We got Calafiori, one of the best youngsters and defenders from last season and from the Euros. Good prop from Bologna. Sorry, Bologna. You're just getting rated by all the good teams. all the big teams, basically. My fault. Calafiori, Timbers back. We signed probably Restorad's best player, Mikel Merino, who scored the winner against Germany in the Euros. So Calafiori, Timbers back. I basically count that as fucking signing. Merino, that's already 3 good signings. Neto, 4 good signings. We did loan out Vieira, Nelson, so we lost some players. Smith Rowe, we sold them. But on the final day of the transfer deadline, we did sign Sterling. We signed 4 good players that I think will make the team better. And Gabriel, Magalhaes, Saliba, best defense, the best defenders. Ben White, you have Calafiori now, Timber, add them to it. Bro, it's a good team. Rice, Jorginho, Thomas Partey, Mikel Merino, Odegaard, Sterling, Martinelli, Gabriel Jesus, Saka. Bro, I didn't even mention Saka. Havertz. I think the team is way stronger than last season. I just wish we would have signed a striker like Osimhen or Lautaro, who was my dream signing. A good striker. But I think the team is still strong enough. And I think the last 2 seasons just chasing City and looking to win the Premier League and being so close to it last season, almost doing a perfect season last season. Arsenal were literally the best team. They were literally the best team last season. I think they had the best defense, and City barely outscored them by a few 4 or 5 goals. Arsenal had their best season ever last season. It wasn't enough to beat City, but I think that's gonna be a big motivator, a big factor why this season they go try their debut, Aston Villa, and I do think they're gonna pull through and win it this season. Call me crazy, call me biased, call me an El Gooner, but I do think Arsenal will win the Premier League this season. It's gonna be historic, and it's gonna be celebrations. This is it. This is the year. This is the season. It is coming back to North London. Red side, Emirates Stadium, it is coming. Obviously, it's going to be hard, but I do think Arsenal have a good enough squad to just beat City to it. Hopefully, City also get far in the Champions League, because that will be a great factor in them and them dropping points and all that. So, yeah. But, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that's basically, let's quickly go through it. The relegation zones, basically, I have Ipswich Town, Nottingham Forest, and Southampton relegating. Low table, the teams that barely survive relegation and aren't good enough for mid-table. I have Everton, Wolves, Leicester City, Brentford, Fulham. Mid-table, I have Bournemouth, West Ham, Newcastle United, Crystal Palace, Aston Villa. Team qualifying for Conference League. 7th place, I have Tottenham Hotspurs. 6th and 5th place, I have Brighton, Albion, Brighton, and Manchester United. Teams that can get, Europa League spots. Top 4 Champions League spots: Chelsea, Liverpool, City, and I have champion Arsenal. Yep, I think that's not a bad list. But yeah, obviously, we'll see. And yeah, that's about it, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know down in the comments if you think I cooked. Did I not cook? Did I burn the house? How are my predictions? Will United actually relegate? Will City relegate? If they are found guilty from the 115 charges, will City be deducted 100 points, and will they relegate? Will Arsenal finally win the Premier League? Will City win the Premier League? Will Chelsea get top 4? Will Everton actually relegate? Am I wrong? Let me know down below, and also comment your favorite team or the team you support in the Premier League. I'm going to be dropping more content in a few days. It's prime time. Clubs are back. The season is back. No more transfer window. No more international football for a good bit. It's time to lock in. If you like this video and if you're interested in La Liga, I'm also going to be making a La Liga 2024-2025 league table season prediction. So stay tuned for that. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment, click on the notification bell, stay in the loop. And yeah, it's been your boy Sebastrigol, and up the Gooners.